The rumors are true. I am getting braces. I have braces. Today, I'm gonna be talking about how I got braces and everything in between. So I'm gonna take you back to when I was a kid, the oral surgeries that I had, the braces, the retainers, and then I'm gonna take you back to a few years ago, and then to today, where I am getting braces and double jaw surgery. I wanna go into the details of the consultations, what initially made me want to get a consultation, and things that I have going on in my mouth. I just want to bring you along on my journey because obviously the structure of my face is going to be changing over the next few months, the next year. Before we get into today's video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button for free. It helps me allow to keep creating fun content. Let's get into the video. Before we get into the details of the present day, I'm taking you back to when I was a kid and sharing with you some of the experiences that I had and the treatment plans that I had as a kid. Going all the way back to the first grade, I was an avid thumb sucker, and when that happens, that pressure on your teeth pushes your teeth forward. I had buck teeth. They were totally pushed forward. I also had diastema due to a large frenulum, which is like a tissue that is in between your teeth. And if you have a large one, it creates a gap, which was quite the look. And if I have any photos, I'll post them here. The first thing we did when I was probably like 7, maybe younger, I got a frenulaculum. The first procedure that I had was to get that extra tissue between my teeth to close, so I got a frenectomy. But what that procedure is, it's actually oral surgery. I had to be put under as a kid, and they just snip that little extra tissue out. That way your teeth have the ability to come together, so you just have a normal, aesthetic, pleasing smile. And I do remember when I was getting that done, waking up as they were tying the knot to close the suture that they made, and that was so incredibly painful. But we're not getting into detail with that. Once that procedure healed, we went to the orthodontist, and during that time, obviously my teeth were still sticking out. So in order to bring those teeth back into its proper position, he recommended getting a retainer, and I had a retainer for a few years. We weren't super happy with the results that we were seeing. We just felt like something was off. From about 4th grade to maybe 6th grade, I didn't have any sort of orthodontic appliances in my mouth. And it wasn't until about 6th or 7th grade when I realized I think I really need to go back to the orthodontist. We didn't go back to the original orthodontist before, obviously, because we weren't super happy with the results. So we went into Omaha and we went to 2 consultations with 2 separate orthodontists. And during those consultations, we had one orthodontist that recommended oral surgery to me. And obviously when you're 13 years old, that sounds super scary. Just the idea of having my mouth wired shut just absolutely freaked me out. And I also think since I was so young, I would have to wait a while in order for that to be done, because you have to wait, for your body to be completely done growing. I have to wait, I think, until I was either 16 or 18 years old. I can't remember exactly, but I knew I would have to get jaw surgery with the first orthodontist. That was part of his treatment plan. With the second orthodontist, he said he could fix my teeth without oral surgery. So we decided to go with orthodontist number 2, and I had braces for 3.5 years, which in my mind is just insane. Like, that is such a long time to have braces. But finally the day came when I could get my braces off. Absolutely thrilled. I just wanted these metal pieces out of my mouth. And I remember when he took my braces off, the first thing I noticed was my chin was not aligned with my nose, and my midline was also not aligned. I was like, why is the midline off? I see that it's off. And he's like, that's just the best that I could do. As a 16-year-old, like, obviously you don't understand the intricacies of, dental anatomy and the jaw as a whole and how teeth move and all of that, but in my mind, it just didn't make sense. And I could just feel in my gut that it didn't feel right. But as a 16-year-old, like, I just wanted braces off. I just wanted to smile and be comfortable and confident with my new teeth, even though it was a little off. And after that, obviously I felt good, but I was super insecure with my smile still, just because I kind of noticed that I had like a good side and bad side. Didn't really notice any like severe pain or anything. I always had popping and clicking on this side, which I know is super common after you go through orthodontics. It wasn't until 2020 when I started to have additional symptoms that were red flags to me. There was one instance which shook up everything. I was being chased by my dad, and it was such a surprise to me. I just started screaming bloody murder and running away, and the moment I started screaming, I opened my jaw so big that this side, my right side, felt as if it almost slid out of position. It almost was in lockjaw. It was so painful. I don't even know how to describe the pain. I didn't have lockjaw, but my joint has just never felt the same since that. And it wasn't until summer of 2022 that I decided it was time to get this looked at a professional, have a consultation with my dentist and maybe my orthodontist. I wasn't really sure, what my options were. So I just really wanted to start out with my dentist to see what she saw. She is an absolutely amazing dentist, but she obviously doesn't specialize in orthodontics or the TMJ. So she recommended me to go back to my previous orthodontist. I followed doctor's orders. I went back to my orthodontist that I had braces with, and I just had another consultation with him. I told him all of the things that were happening that I wasn't super excited about, including the crepitus, the popping, the clicking, that instance with my joint sliding. And then I went back to the misalignment. I'm like, I'm still not happy with the alignment of my teeth in regards to my chin being off and my midline being off. He came in and he sat down and is like, yeah, this bite isn't good. You put me in this bite and I was in braces for 3.5 years. So if it's not good, why did you do that? And obviously I didn't say that to him. I was thinking that to myself. I was just like stunned that a doctor who has been practicing for, over 20 years put me in this bite and then sees his work not that far in the future and is like, oh wow, this is like not right. And he sits me in the chair and essentially he tries to like align my teeth to be in the center. And when you do that, like obviously I have a crossbite, anatomically that is where the position of my jaw should be, but isn't. That can only be corrected surgically. In addition to that, he also said I had like a flat bite. Obviously asked what he would recommend in regards to getting metal braces or Invisalign, and he said he recommended metal braces and was also going to send me to an oral surgeon. I asked which ones he recommended. The only one that worked with my insurance was a specific doctor at UNMC that everyone raves about. So I made an appointment with him. It was far in the future. It was like a 6-month wait list, which is insane. But I just made the appointment and prayed that maybe someone would cancel. And the other thing that I wasn't super happy about, him and his team were very pushy for me to get braces prior to me even going to a consultation with the oral surgeon. I always think the orthodontist and the oral surgeon should be a team. Like they should create a treatment plan together, be on the same page, and just be aligned with the entire process. And for this orthodontist to recommend me to immediately get into braces prior to even having a conversation or consultation with the oral surgeon who he would be theoretically creating a treatment plan with, it just felt so off for me. And I decided to get a few other consultations from other orthodontists that people have recommended me to. So now let's talk about consultation number 2. This was also a very unusual consultation and was kind of shocking. It told me that I needed to get Invisalign because my teeth were tilted too far back, which is why I was having pain in my TMJ. But then also told me that I needed to get cosmetic surgery because there's nothing he could do with my jaw. And I was like, what? Then recommended me to get my chin shaved and placed in the correct anatomical position. He said there wasn't any way for like oral surgeons to correct my jaw, and it was just the way that it is. I just felt like that was so wrong. We were so misaligned. For someone to just tell you to get cosmetic surgery, that doesn't do anything for the pain or for the issues that I see or am having. It is essentially just like a band-aid to cover it up. It's not a long-term fix to the pain that I'm having. But the best thing about this consultation is that since he had a really great relationship with the oral surgeon that I initially made a appointment with 6 months in advance, his assistant was able to call that doctor's office and get me in like within a few weeks. I actually went to a plastic surgeon to see what he thought about my pain. And I had number 2 orthodontist send all of his recommendations and notes to the plastic cosmetic surgeon just so they could see if they, agreed on the treatment plan. And he said, absolutely not. If you're having TMJ pain, that is something anatomically needs to be corrected and reviewed by a specialist. And I definitely don't feel comfortable doing cosmetic surgery on your chin. He just validated me. And so with that consultation, I XA'd that orthodontist and I went to a 3rd orthodontist. And this 3rd orthodontist, Dr. Eigel, he is actually the orthodontist that I got a consultation from when I was like 15, 16. He was the one that originally recommended jaw surgery, but at that time I just didn't feel ready for that. And here we are, 12 years later, and I'm back at his office. And once I had a consultation with him, he didn't even ask about all of the issues that I was having. I essentially went in, took all the pictures, and he reviewed, and he walked into the room, pointed out everything that I was feeling and also saw, in addition to more things that he thought were anatomically incorrect or, misplaced. I don't know how to say that correctly, but he also just pointed out things that needed to be addressed on top of all the things that I was seeing. So immediately I just felt so relieved that there was a medical professional, an orthodontist, that saw everything that I see and also sees things on top of that need to be addressed. From the consultation with him, he told me that my maxilla, my top jaw, is actually too far back into my face, about 4 to 5 millimeters, he said, and my mandible naturally is too far forward, which is what causes the underbite. However, my left side is longer than my right side, which is why I had the misalignment, because this side is pushing this side over because it's longer. And when that happens, that also puts different pressures on your TMJ, which can cause pain, the clicking, all of those things that I've been experiencing. He also noted that on this side where I'm having the clicking and popping, I have something similar to like a bone spur on my TMJ because the bone on bone is happening. And he also explained to me in my current bite that I have, it's aesthetically pleasing, but since I naturally am a class 3 and I have a natural underbite, until I get that fixed surgically, my jaw is getting trapped under my top teeth because of my bite, and that causes additional pressure here. And after that, a few weeks later, I had my consultation with the oral surgeon. My appointment went super smoothly. I first met with the resident oral surgeon, talked about the orthodontist and what they recommended, and then the oral surgeon came in and did his review. All the things I really wanted to talk to him about were obviously what he was going to do to my mouth. And the thing is that he had recommendations or ideas of what he was going to do, but couldn't make an exact treatment plan because he wasn't sure how my teeth were going to move with my braces. Where were we? His diagnosis and his treatment plan aligned most with Dr. Eigel, which is also the doctor that I felt most confident in as well. He was the orthodontist number 3. And essentially what my oral surgeon recommended is double jaw surgery with potential TMJ surgery. Now that's like a very broad summarized treatment plan because there's actually a ton of things going on with my jaw. Let's do it step by step. 1, my maxilla, my top jaw is 4 to 5 millimeters too far back. They are going to move it forward to make it more anatomically correct. Number 2, they are going to lengthen and shorten my mandible so it's equal on both sides. So my face will be symmetrical. And when that happens, my chin will move back to its proper anatomical position. And the last thing that the doctor pointed out with my jaw is that I also have a slight canted mouth. meaning that my jaw is kind of like this. It's obviously not that severe. It's a little more like 1 or 2 millimeters. And he said that might advance in the future and it's best to get it addressed now. So after all that information the oral surgeon shared with me, I asked him if he recommended metal braces or Invisalign. Obviously, I was advocating for Invisalign because I didn't really want it to inhibit my professional world or my dating world or interfere with my self-confidence. And I know that sounds so silly, but having metal braces as an adult is just something I don't want to do. And if there's something else like Invisalign that could still give me the same results but with clear aligners, I would just feel so much more confident in getting this done. And luckily, the oral surgeon was very comfortable with using Invisalign. He has said he has had so many successful procedures with adults using Invisalign, so I am so excited. So then I went back and just looked at each orthodontist individually to see which one worked with my needs the best. So as you guys can see, I went with orthodontist number 3, Dr. Eigel. I got Invisalign in October 2022. I have, it's either 32 or 35 weeks of Invisalign prior to surgery. I'll be getting my jaw surgery either at the end of May 2023 or at the beginning of June 2023. I am so excited to get my jaw surgery done, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with you guys. I know a lot of people, especially adults, had to go through this, and I couldn't find, that many videos that show the entire, journey, and I really want to create that for you. I want you guys to come along with me. And if you're going through this or have had this procedure, please feel free to comment down below. I really want to make this an educational and just a transparent journey with me and, the surgery and with Invisalign and also being an adult. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next jaw surgery Invisalign vlog.